My grandma M. I really love my grandma M. She was my favorite grandma because I actually spent more time with her. Like, she was always home. She didn't go out. Grandma Dot, shit, in her 60s, Grandma Dot was still in the club, still carrying pistols. But Grandma M used to be the one that would babysit me and watch me when Mama and them went to the club. Because my mama, after her and my daddy split, she got with my step pops, Lester, and they've been together since I was like 8, still to this day, and it's 2021. But they used to club a lot, so shit, I was always by grandma. Moms would be out drinking and shit, and even when she wasn't at the club, she was stressed out because she moved all the way from the country. My daddy is from uptown. My mama is from either St. Joseph or Waterproof, Louisiana, which is a country town in, I call it Northwest Louisiana. It ain't around Shreveport or nothing. It's closer to closer to Monroe. It's right. It's not far from Natchez, Mississippi, but it's in Louisiana. But it was a country town. So she was doing a lot of drinking and shit at that time. So I really didn't get to spend as much time as I would have liked with my mama. But I spent a whole lot of time with Grandma M. She used to come up with the most colorful cuss words. Like, she used to call me Andy. My name is Anthony. I go by William Money, but my birth name is Anthony. And the only reason that I get off into why I took up the moniker of William Money, because there's things I can't talk about, but I want you to know about it. So that name, I can't talk about it, but when you find out what that name comes from, then you'll automatically understand. But Grandma M used to come up with some of the colorfulest cuss outs. Like, she used to say, Andy, bitch, I hit you on Sunday and be waiting for you on Monday. Or, Andy, you Popeye looking bitch. Because I used to play pranks, and I love doing it because she gets so animated and the eyes get bucked. And she Grandma M, when she was younger, she would whoop my ass, but when she got older, she just used the cuss words. Motherfucker, I hit you with the people's elbow. Because she loved, she loved watching wrestling. Me and her used to watch wrestling and football together. When the 49ers played the Denver Broncos and kicked their ass, John Elway against Joe Montana, she went for Denver. I went for Joe Montana. I sit down and watch football with Grandma. And when my mom and them used to go out, because her and my step-pops got together when we was in Salisbury, and I think I was about 8 years old. That's after my pops and her split, and he really went to chilling. He started getting off in the church after he almost killed my mama and all this stuff. And what he told me, he was like, when I almost killed my kid's mama, when I almost killed y'all mama, that's when I got my mind right. Because I realized I almost killed my kid's mother. And it hurt him so deep, so he went to going to church. He was changing around. He started changing a little bit. But we'll get off into when he started turning back, because he ended up getting dementia and all this shit. But that's for a later story, because what I'm doing is I'm just basically chronicling my life. So when people tell you stuff about me, you done already heard the story. You heard it from my mouth. So they can't fabricate shit, because I tell it to you. Now, some things they gonna have to tell you, because I can't tell you everything. Some of that shit I ain't fucking with. But my mom and them used to club a lot, and she used to. I mean, when she got off work or when she was off, she was drinking heavy and stuff because she was stressed out over, because she left the country because my pops was banned from New Orleans when he was in his teens. New Orleans banned him. He couldn't be out here, so he had to go all the way to the fucking country where he had other family at, because him and my Uncle Mel, they stayed in trouble when they was younger. So Pops got banned, and he met my mama. They fell in love, in high school. And my pops could have went to the NFL. He had scholarships and shit to like Texas A&M and all these colleges, full paid scholarships. But my mama ended up pregnant with my older brother, so he had to get a job and take care of his kids, because that's what men would do back in the Gap. They wasn't like these cats now that'll run off and leave a woman struggling to pursue their own dreams and shit like that. Men are set up there and put their dreams aside because they kids. I kind of did that myself because that's the way I was raised. But Grandma M, back to Grandma M. I used to spend a lot of time with her. She used to cuss me out all the time. And she chewed Red Man chewing tobacco. And she'd just be spitting in a cup or spitting in a can or something. Sitting there, she'd talk to you a little bit, then she'd spit in the can, and she'd talk to you a little bit more, telling me stories about my great-grandfather and stuff, how he was born a slave, and slaves end up getting free, and how the white people wouldn't mess with him because they were scared of him. He used to see things. She'd say, you like your grandfather, your great-grandfather, because she didn't say it like that. She'd say, you like your great-grandpa. You see all that old crazy ass shit too. I remember he used to make us cross the street sometimes. One time he made us cross the street to the other side because he said he seen a bull walking down the street with his head cut off and fire coming out his neck. And we didn't see the bull. I don't know if he really seen it. They probably, all the shit that he had seen through life probably drove him kind of mad. You see enough, it'll break your mind. But I remember this one time, Grandma M, I was sick. I don't know if I had the flu or whatever, but I was sick. And my mom and them wanted to go out, so they went out to the bar, getting drunk and all kinds of shit. And she left me with Grandma M. This was on Sibley Street. She didn't stay at the front by the big apartment. She stayed in the back by the tracks by the big apartments this time. Because she used to love being around where it was fights. She loved to watch fights. That was her thing. If people gonna be scrapping and it's gonna be a whole bunch of nonsense going on, Grandma M pull her seat up on that porch and she just sit there and watch and be spitting in her can. Grandma M. But she was in there making me some soup because my mom and them brought me over there. I'm sick, so I'm laying on the sofa sick. But I get this little funny thought because I always was a wild child. I like pranking people and shit. When I was younger, I'm going to tell y'all some more of the pranks that I pulled on people. I used to do some fucked up shit. But because I love to laugh. Growing up, the Joker was my favorite hero or character on cartoons. When the Joker come on, I love it. I love watching the Joker, the movies, all that. Over Batman, Superman, anybody else, you give me the Joker. Well, I usually like the villains. I'm going to be honest. Some of them, not all of them. But I love the Joker. He my favorite. But she in the kitchen, humming and making my soup. I sneak around. I'm like, I think I was like 8, 9. I sneak around and I peep around the corner. I see her in that old moo dress that the grandmas wear. And she humming and cooking the soup. She think I'm in there laying on the sofa watching TV. Shit. I got another thing coming for you, Grandma. The only light on in the apartment was in the kitchen. The other lights was off, so I hid. When I seen her getting ready, she was pouring the soup in a bowl and getting my spoon, getting ready to bring it to me. I went hid next to her bed on the side by the wall because she had a little gap, and it was dark. She ain't have no lights on. When she came around there, I jumped out and went, rah! She threw that fucking hot soup on me, and I screamed for days. And her eyes got big. You stupid motherfucker. And man, when I tell you the cuss words rolled, I mean, they used to roll off her tongue. Oh man, so smooth, like man. If I wish people could hear how smooth Grandma M could cuss. Only person that came close to that was Auntie Mert. I remember another time, something that really disturbed me. I had to use the bathroom and Mom and them was gone out. And Grandma was in there. She was in the bathroom. But I didn't know. I had to pee. Man, I opened that door and Grandma M was in there taking a bath with no curtains covering or nothing, butt naked. And it shocked me because there's something else I seen earlier than that fucked me up. But I don't know if I want to tell that one. It was disturbing. I didn't see nothing no more the rest of that fucking night after I seen her naked. I'm a little kid. Oh my God. Auntie Mert. Yeah, me and Grandma M got real close after a while. To where when I got older, and she'll see I calmed down and I wasn't playing no tricks on her, I'd come over and help her with stuff and just spend time, sit down and talk to her. And she seen that I was chilling. Now, I was wilding in the streets, but I was chilling with her. And she used to tell me all the old stories and stuff. Like, people think that, like, it's bad today with black people. It's bad. They still treat us like shit. I mean, the immigrants and all this stuff. They come over and they get treated real nice. But us who got kidnapped, y'all don't treat us too nice. But Grandma M told me stories about lynchings that she saw and all kinds of stuff. Well, people that got lynched, they'll see the bodies after. They wasn't invited to the pick-a-nigga, the picnic. I miss that old lady. When I was in prison, she had a bad spell where something was going on with her. And she ended up in the hospital. And I had called home because when I was in prison, I had a little money so I could, and plus I had gotten work release after. So I used to buy the calling cards. And I called home, Mama tell me what's going on. And just so happened, she was with Grandma M in the hospital, and Grandma M, she was kind of out of it. She was going through something. And I told that old lady, because I only had a few weeks left, I'm like, Grandma, you better not leave here before I get home. And she's like, I'm not, baby. And sure enough, she stayed on this earth. She was staying with my cousin Mika. And when I went to the St. Bernard projects to see her, well, they renovated. It ain't projects no more. It's them colorful ass buildings, you know. But I went to see her because she couldn't live by herself no more. She wasn't able to. She had to have somebody to care for her. And when I went to seeing her, man, I was talking and having fun. It's like my mom and them, they knew that she was kind of out of it, but when I came, it's like it all came back, and man, I was just talking like normal, like she came back too. When I was leaving, she was asking where I'm going. She didn't want me to leave. But my mom and them, I was riding with my mom and them. I'm fresh home. I ain't got no car. You know, they stole my car when they locked me up that last time. That's a whole nother story. But, you know, the dude who owned the wrecking company, because they wasn't even supposed to be searching my car, and they wasn't supposed to be bothering my car or sending it to calling no wrecker to pull my car. But that's Kenner Police. They do a lot of illegal stuff. So they took my car. So I ain't had no car. I got a car like I went and bought a car the day that we buried at the funeral. Cause right after I talked to her, a few days later she was gone. And the day of her funeral was the day I went and bought a Dodge Charger. But you're gonna hear more about Grandma M as the story goes on. But like I said, I'm documenting my life. And I'm having fun doing it because remembering all these things is beautiful to me. I got a lot of memories, good and bad. We all do. And hopefully, whenever my grandkids are born, they can see this. And when my kids are grown, I want them to see this. Because I wish I could know about, just sit back and watch one of my great-grandparents or my mom and them just tell a story, which they done told it, but, you know, the memory is one thing, but actually watching it is a whole nother thing. And then for people who know me, that wonder why I act like I act, because I don't tell everybody everything. I'm one of them people that holds a lot inside. I'm an introvert. I'll speak to people once I get used to them, but for the most part, if I don't know you, ain't too much of a conversation. And even if I knew you back in the Gap, I know over time you done changed. So when you come back around, I still ain't telling you nothing because I don't know who you done become yet. Once I see who you done become, who you have become, then I know what and how to talk to you. But so far, that's Grandma M. Wonderful woman. Funny as hell, too. Next, I'm going to tell you about Auntie Mert. And a few other my people, like Auntie Glenn. Oh, that Auntie Glenn, boy. That was the most passionate woman. When she get passionate about something, oh man, ain't no turning Auntie Glenn off. Auntie Korea and Uncle Ronald. Yeah. But I'll do that a little later. I'm about to go finish watching this movie because